Hi friends, today I am going to talk about Dashavatar. Dashavatar is the word Dasha and Avatar. Dasha means 10 and Avatar is incarnation. Now this Avatar is a very peculiar concept that we have in India. You have seen the movie Avatar. Now they couldn't get that equivalent word in English, so they had to use the word avatar because this particular concept is restricted only to Indian subcontinent and Indian mythology. Now, Dashavatar is about 10 avatars that Lord Vishnu had. And I am not going to talk about the mythological aspect of this avatar, but I want to relate these avatars with a biological evolution that has taken place for last couple of million years. How the earth came into existence and how the life evolved all these years and how do we relate this Dashavatar to this biological evolution. That is what I would like to share with you. So let us see what are Dashavatars. So friends, the 10 avatars Lord Vishnu had were Matsya, that is the fish, Kurma, that is tortoise, Varaha, that is a boar, Narsinha, that is a half lion and half man, then Vaman, which is a short structured or a dwarf person, then we have Parshuram, the avatar which has axe or an axe like of weapon in the hand, then we have Ram, then we have Krishna, then we have Buddha, and the last avatar, which might take few thousand years, lakh of years, will be Kalaki. Now, these 10 avatars, I will try to explain from the biological evolution point of view. When Earth came into existence, there was nothing but the water. And the first life that has evolved was in the water. And what do we have in the water? We have fish in the water. Of course, it is a developmental stage from single cellular organisms. It has evolved into a structured fish. So we will not get into that. But the first avatar that we talk of Lord Vishnu is of Matsya, that is the fish. So the fish has been the first living creature in the water when earth had water all over. The second avatar is of Kurma. Now Kurma is a tortoise. Now tortoise is an amphibian. Tortoise lives in water. It can breathe in water. Tortoise also lives on the land. So the evolution has taken place, and from fish the life has evolved into a form of amphibian where the creature can live in water as well as on the land. The third avatar is of Varaha, that is a boar. Now, boar is more on the earth but not amphibian, but likes water. The boar would like to spend time in water, rest in water, be there in water, but the activities are carried out only on the land. So again, that is the evolution from fish to tortoise, tortoise to Varaha, and incidentally Varaha is a mammal. After Varaha, the life further evolved and Lord Vishnu took avatar as Narasimha. Nara is a human being and Sinha is a lion. So it was a combination of a human being with an animal. And that was the next avatar. After this, there was a Vaman avatar. Now, Vaman has been depicted as a dwarf, a short structured man. Now, this Vaman perhaps was the one who had eradicated or eliminated the Homo erectus. Now, from this Vaman avatar, we have got another avatar that is called as a Parshurama. Parashu is kind of an axe, it's a weapon. And this weapon was used by Parshuram. And perhaps that is the beginning of the civilization when human beings started using weapons for various purposes, maybe for their protection, maybe for hunting, maybe for anything that they are desirous of. After the Parshuram avatar, we have avatar of Rama. Ram avatar, as we all know, talks about administration. Ram has been termed as a Maryada Purushottam Ram, the person who has been a very noble and best of the human beings. And that is what the Ram avatar has been. So in the Ram avatar, administration has been there. There has been an exile of Ram. There has been war with Ravan, elimination of evil things on the earth. All these things came in the Ram avatar. So that was the avatar which talked about administration and a king being head of the country or a state who ruled everything. The next avatar we had was the avatar of Lord Krishna. Now Krishna has again eliminated the bad things, but here the approach was little different. The Krishna's approach was to ensure that truth should always prevail and the evil should be eliminated by this way or that way. Bad things should not have any place in the society. And that is what we had a Bhagavad Gita, which was told by Lord Krishna to Arjuna on the Mahabharat war front, and it explains the intricacies of the life and how one should try to conquer over evil things, bad things in life. After Krishna avatar, we have got an avatar which is called as a Buddha avatar. Now, Lord Buddha is also considered to be avatar of Lord Vishnu in the Indian mythology. Now, Buddha had given the 5 principles, what we call as the Panchashila. And this talks about the morality, this talks about the ethics, this talks about the ahimsa, not to do the wrong things in life, to speak the truth. All these good things Buddha has taught us. So that was the avatar which followed Lord Krishna's avatar, where we learnt about the practicalities in life. Buddha has told about the ethics and morality in the human life. And the final avatar that is going to be there is of Kalaki. Now Kalaki will come and there is going to be a pralay at that time. What is pralay? Pralay is nothing but water everywhere. Now how can this happen? This will happen because the carbon emissions will increase, black holes will increase, the glaciers will melt, and there will be rise in the sea levels. The water levels in the sea will increase to submerge everything. And that will be the end of the life on the earth. And that is going to happen in the Kalaki avatar. Now, if we don't protect our environment, if we don't take care of carbon emissions, if we don't plant more trees, then this Kalaki avatar may come much earlier than what authorities might have predicted. So let us all try to protect the environment and have a healthy and good life. So friends, trust you got a different dimensions of the Shavatar. The world will end and again Satyayug will start. Again the fish will be there and again the biological evolution will take place. Every practice in Hinduism is based upon certain scientific principles. So try to understand the logic behind it and then you will appreciate why a particular activity is being carried out or why a particular belief is there in the Hinduism. Hope you will agree with me. Thank you very much.